name is Kelley. I'm here with Alpaca Direct, and I'm here to show you how to write names on your knitwear projects, and they can also be used to, these same methods can be used to work with crocheted projects as well. You can use a lot of these methods, are useful for both. So the first sample that we're going to look at is duplicate stitch, and you see here that I've already started some duplicate stitch, and when you're doing duplicate stitch, it's good to use yarn that is at least the same yarn that you knit with. It needs to be about the same thickness, because if you try and use thinner yarn, it's not going to look great for duplicate stitch. And when you're doing duplicate stitch, it can make the letters a little bit bulky. And so just know that when you're working along that they may be a little bulkier, and that's okay. It looks good. It's fine. So let me go ahead and show you how I did this. I have my working yarn here, and I'm working my way across, then across and across. And so I am going to, it's coming out of, we're going to be going into this stitch right here. So we're going to go follow that stitch exactly. And we're going to come around here and go up one bar. And then you want to get your tension about the same as you're knitting. You might have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it about right. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the next stitch above it. And then go up one bar. And then I'll show you one more time. Trying to keep the tension about the same. One more stitch. Around. And then I'll just poke it through. And that's what duplicate stitch looks like when it's finished. This one right here is not ideal. The tension is a little bit tight, and you may have to play with it a little bit. These are two different yarns, not the yarns that I'm knitting with. This is a sample yarn that I'm testing. So I'm just using it to see how it acts when I'm working with it. So this next sample up here is an embroidery technique. And it makes your letters a lot finer and more refined looking. So if you had a smaller project, this would be ideal for that. Let me show you how I would do that. So I have my working needle here. Oops. Let me see if I can grab a little longer strand here. 1 second here. You don't want it. You need a little bit of working yarn to work with. Okay, so let's turn this over again, and what we're looking at is this stitch right here, and that is where the first part of our the letter would be, and I'm just going to make a straight L so you can see. So I came up under there, and then I go right back into that stitch and go down 2 bars down, okay? And then just pull it. You want it about the same tension as you're knitting, so it looks the best that it can look. And then 2 bars down. And bring it through again. Let me see if I can get my tail out of the way there. Pull it a little tighter. And 2 bars down. And bring it there. And let me try 3 bars so you can see, because you can make it those loops any length that you want to make them. You just want to be consistent when you're doing it. So let me show you what it looks like with 2 loops. See, there's 2 bars I'm going back into this time. Let's show you. So if you wanted to do that and make it the loops a little bigger and longer, you could do that too. That looks pretty nice. Whatever you do, you just need to have it consistent. So that is another way that you can put your names on your projects, on your knit and or crocheted projects. You can use that same method, and it works fantastic. I'll put that there. Now this third one, I thought it was worth mentioning. It's an embroidery. It's called the daisy stitch or what have you. But let me just show you how it's done. When they start, you come from the center and you go through like I have, and then you go straight back down into your work, and it makes a loop. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. Let me get my tail out of the way. There you go. There's your loop. And then you would come back up wherever you want your loop to be. I will go maybe right here. And you go right through that loop and you pull it nice and tight, and then you just go straight back into where you came from. You see that loop right there? And you can use this to write names, and you can also just do a single strand. And let me show you how you would do the single strand. So you come up in the center like you did on this technique, right? And then let's say I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 bars up, and then I'm gonna go 3 bars in the other direction. I'm gonna go down that way and there, and then maybe I'll go out to the side here. All these are little techniques you can do to write names on things. There you go. And just dive right back down into there. See? That's another technique that you can use to write names. So you can use that one, or this is embroidery, this is the daisy stitch, this is duplicate stitch, and now we're going to take it doing regular stranded color work. And what I did to make this work, this piece is in the round, right? And I'm going, how can I take all those floats and make them work? So what I did is I put the name on the front and on the back. And I just carried my floats all the way around the circle. See my floats? They're all the way around the circle. And that worked great because I was intentionally, in the beginning, I wanted to write my name just on one side. But in order to make those floats smooth, I had to write the name on both sides. And I used a chart like this, and I just followed my chart that I made. And this is a chart that I made up from a free YouTube video where they had software to make your own graph paper, and I made my own chart. So you can use that and make bulky weight or fine weight, depends on how many stitches you want to use, and I numbered mine so that I had the stitch count for each one, and then how many rows up and how many stitches across. So that works great, and then you can just keep this whenever you're working on your project. Here's another one where I just used plain old graph paper, and I just highlighted the stitches, and I could just knit right off of this to make this. So you could do, that's another way that you could write your names on your knitwear projects. So you go give those a try and see if they help you with writing names on your projects.